let's go ahead. I'm really glad to see those of you who are here, that we have a few others who will be joining us soon. I know. I'm so grateful with solstice upon us. The dark is descending even as we speak outside. And together we're going to be exploring and discovering together what light we have discovered this last year, and to celebrate as we turn to this coming year. So if you brought a candle, this is the time to light it. As we welcome the light, light your candle as a beacon of our nurturing the fires within us, to light the way for the new year, and beckoning to the sun to come back and be with us. And as we also light this candle, we are calling in the ones who teach us to hear and see more than our usual senses offer us, calling in their history-long partnership for empowering us to enter new frontiers, calling in their power for returning us to our hearts and where our greatest resources reside, and calling in a restoration of our relationship with the natural world, and calling in a balance of the fierce energies that have been around us this past year. So as is our custom, we wish to gather together, holding your hands out. In one hand, you're holding the trials, the sorrow, the loss, the challenges of this time. In the other hand, you're holding compassion, joy, courage, the qualities of the heart. We bring those together at our heart, and breathing in the year 2020 in all its fullness, and breathing out the promise of the coming year. It's the practice of Tonglen in the Buddhist tradition, the practice of compassion. So we'll take just a few seconds, deeply breathing in all that we bring with us for 2020, and breathing out the return of the light that's coming. Thank you. As we continue this evening, we ask that you stay on mute except when you speak, and so that we can minimize the ambient noise that can be a problem sometimes. So first, we want to start with the next slide there, Mary Beth. We want to do a gratitude roundup for people who have been important to the last year of Writing Beyond. It's been a strange time, and here are the people, some of whom are either here now or will be this evening. So we have on the left there Carolyn Jost, who is our board president, and she's looking out in a field at Jen's place at Boogie, one of Jen's horses. And then on the right we have Rosalie Maple, who and a lot of these are board members, and that's Rosalie for sure. And there we've got a mud-covered journey a couple of weeks ago, and you see the nose of Mystic there. And then next we have there Jen with her two horses, Boogie and Pearl. This was a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, when the colors were just beautiful there. And then on the right, there's me and Mystic, looking very, very glamorous there. Whoops, go ahead. And then on our left is Denise Krause. She's often the person, techie person, and she'll be joining us later this evening. She had another engagement. And then on the right, there's our Mary Beth Watt, who is also, besides being our technical host this evening, she's also our resident poet. We'll be hearing from her later this evening. And then next we have Anne Marie Ramsey, who's with us this evening, and she's there with a yawning Abby, the Mustang mare, who's part of our program. And then on the right, we have Peggy Dean in that red coat. That she's there with Starbuck, who we just heard from Jen a few minutes ago, has returned to the Valley. He's a pony who has a reputation that's quite, it kind of goes along with his name, Starbuck, I think. So we may be seeing a bit more of him. And then on our left there is Jackie Markin and Jack Harbaugh. They somehow managed to marry people with their same first name. And so Jackie has been really wonderful in creating videos for us this past year. And then Jack has been in helping us with development and promotion. And then on our right there is Karen Vega-Henkel, our volunteer coordinator. She is not able to be with me. None of these three are able to be with us this evening. And then, is that it? Are there more? I think that's it, maybe. Oh no, that's right. Christine Healy, who one of our volunteers who has been key to our connection with the Chamber of Commerce members. And Christine has just recently returned from several months on the East Coast, and she just texted me that something's come up and she can't join us. She's really sorry. And then we have Debbie Hanson Bernard there on the right with her horse Abby, along with one of our participants. And Debbie has said she will be with us this evening. Maybe she's already here. I don't know. And so that's our crew who's been just really critical. And we want to say a big thank you to all they've done to take us forward in that most strange year that we're having, for sure. And so just to say that we are this is, the 8th gathering that we've had this year. We sure thought it was only going to be 2 or 3 of them, but here we are starting our 8th gathering of exploring again the power of the horse-human relationship. And that's been so critical to providing us sustenance, and with such things as the gifts that they offer us in the human community, with their herd dynamics, teaching us about community, with their heightened sensing of their environment that teaches us to notice more, or to waken our own senses, their discomfort with incongruence energetically in the environment, which teaches us to be congruent with our heart and mind, and their power and beauty in human history, which have really enabled us. Those of us who live here on the West Coast, hello, we wouldn't be here without horses. In so many ways, they've been a part of human history and have taken an archetypal role for us because of that. And they're living from large-heartedness, enabling us to return to the heart, one of our best resources. And then they're teaching us about non-verbal body language and resilience, how to live in these times, to return to the calm following alarm that they're so good at. So tonight we'll be exploring more of how horses inform us with their talents for this time in our history. So first we want to start with calling in the 7 directions. And I'm going to call on Peggy. If you please, Peggy, would take over here and help us call in 7 directions.
Okay. Ceremony and ritual are so important at this time of solstice rebirth and the meeting, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, and how that influences us in this age of Aquarius that we're living in. So now in ritual, we call on the spirits of our community of horses and humans. Spirit of the East, of the yellow horses, season of spring and place of sunrise, we call you to bring your inspiration and creativity as the Jupiter influence of expansion is present for our renewal and new beginnings. Thank you for your illumination. Spirit of the South, of the red horses, season of summer and place of growth and harvest, we call you to bring your strength and power as we are present to the growth and expansion and optimism that Jupiter brings. Thank you for your warmth and connection. Spirit of the West, of the black horses, season of fall and place of preparation, we call you to bring your powers of introspection to our gathering. Thank you for your insight as Saturn's influence aids us in review and responsibility and new order. Spirit of the North, of the white horses, season of winter and place of purification, we call you to bring your powers of renewal to our gathering as the presence of Jupiter brings healing and miracles. Thank you for your patience. Spirit above, of the mythical horses, place of spiritual influence and vast beyond, we call you to shine your light on this gathering as we contemplate the possibilities of this great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in this age of Aquarius at this time of the longest night. Thank you for your compassion and love. Spirit below, of the horses we see and touch, may our connection with them root and ground us in our learning and sharing. Thank you for purpose. And Spirit of the center, we honor our center as we bring our open hearts to this gathering, as we welcome back the light to our lives with new hope, refreshed joy, and nurturing of one another in this powerful time.
Thank you so much, Peggy. It's been my pleasure to learn in the recent days about the power of this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, and I feel its power with us, and evidently later this evening we might even be able to, after we finish our session, step out and actually see it on the southwest horizon. Marcia, are you here with us? Have you joined us? Marcia Friedman was going to be joining us. Let's see. I don't see Marcia here. Marcia lives in Costa Rica, and she's told me earlier today that she would be very happy to tell us about what this solstice is like in the Southern Hemisphere. And so maybe she'll be joining us later, and we can hear a bit about what that's like, living in this solstice, which is summer. It's the summer solstice for them. Okay, so now we want to hear a little bit from the horses, thanks to Jen. Jen has been so good as to record a message for us, given the fact that the technical issues have made it really hard to do live interactions on this. So let's watch the video that Jen recorded a few days ago at her place about things that we can learn from the horses for these days that we're in. Here we go.
Good morning. I thought I'd take time. Oh, thank you, Boogie.
If you can't hear her, just turn up your volume.
Morning, the season of winter here in the barnyard. It's actually about 10:30, 11 in the morning, so the horses have already gone through the frost part of the morning, and the water in the trough is starting to thaw again, and they're having a hot mash behind me, as you can see. One of the things I love to talk to you about today with the horses and this idea of how we can adapt to our environment, even if it seems severely limiting, is that they're always ready to be on hand to do whatever needs to be done in the moment. So in the summertime, their willingness to stand at the gate is really tested by their need and desire to be on the other side of the fence, having their green grass. And they want to do that first thing in the morning. But this morning, when there's been so much coldness through the night, they were really content to just have their hay. And now they're really content as the morning warms up to just be able to enjoy their warm mash. Here comes Pearl. She wants to say hi too. Enjoy their warm mash and adapt to what's at hand. So their willingness to be slowed down by the slowness and the cold of the environment is really what they want to do. They save their energy for true emergencies. And right now there doesn't seem to be much of an emergency. Want to say hi to Pearl? So that's a resilience strategy that I see them use that I think is helpful during this time of limitation. And as we go into winter, I'm super glad that the relationship that I have with them continues to slow down and we are present to what's happening around us. All right, well, the next thing I think they want to do is probably head out to the field, but they're going to take their sweet time. Pearl's here. She's going to clean up a little hay with us. Yeah, just always looking for what the next best thing to do is. Oh, thank you. Kisses from me, always the best thing.
Thank you, Jen. Sweet. So now I want to invite you to imagine being with horses in a circle with our friends here and horses. And next slide there, Mary Beth. There we go. There we go. Cuddling up with the horses as we normally have like a story time at this time, but this time it's going to be about solstice. So just imagine yourself cuddling up with some horses in a really calm and happy way. And let's hear a bit about solstice. So if you could go on to the next slide there. Thank you. Because these are not simply the dark days of winter, but increasingly a dark times for most people these days around the globe, as the collective psyche has experienced one devastating blow after another. We've got a public health crisis looming ahead of us, psychological issues as a result of all what's gone on this past year. There's political storms going on. We've got a crisis of democracy, social injustice, and racial issues have been paramount throughout the year. We're facing an economic collapse, and our psyche can feel the ever-present global climate crisis as well. So in these times, these kinds of times, it's dark times, it's important for us to remember the underlying unity and the inner wisdom that's available to us in life. The word solstice actually means the sun stands still. And ancient people imagined that the extremes of darkness harbored a timeless moment of stillness as the sun seemed to stop in time before the gloom becomes too great to recover from. Traditional cultures all over the world imagined that the midwinter sun needed conscious help from human beings in order to turn things around and bring back the light. Michael Meade says, without a living story of cosmos, people begin to feel accidental, without purpose, abandoned, in the middle of nowhere, lost in space, adrift in an increasingly pointless, random world, becoming increasingly confusing and darkly chaotic. This is the state that people sometimes enter in the dark, and so the ancient practices and stories were designed to enable people to know their connection with the larger cosmos, the living universe. But even though those many of those old stories may not hold sway for us today to guide us through the current chaos, we still can find ways to remind us of what we are connected to, the starry cosmos, the living universe that's so visible all around us now as the dark descends. This Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which is now announcing a turn to a whole new age before us, the Aquarian age, is heralding a return to balance of yin and yang, the feminine principle in more balance with the masculine. This conjunction like this has not happened in 800 years. It's already, this changes, we've seen this change coming upon us. It's not going to be an abrupt thing, but we can actually look for it on the horizon, as I mentioned, about evidently tonight and tomorrow night, about a half an hour to 45 minutes after sunset. It'll be visible for about an hour and a half on the southwest horizon. So it's that knowing that connection that we have with that cosmos, that larger universe, and then to find ways like we are doing tonight to gather with others, to make that connection. A friend of mine was telling me this morning of her son's time in the Scandinavian world, where there is a tradition at this time of the year called Hygge. We're not quite ready for the donuts yet, but Hygge is a quality of coziness and conviviality coming together. Hygge, especially enjoying during the dark times. It's very much like what Jen will be describing with some of her experiences. In the outback of Alaska here in a few minutes. So another way of nurturing through this traditionally has been to enjoy special foods. Now we're ready for the donuts, especially foods that express our inner warmth, the inner sun, and our inner warmth and generosity. That as we give expression to that, it actually is our yearning to call back the light. And I'm showing you here these Dutch donuts called oliebollen, because my son, who's been living here with me since last January, because he couldn't go back to London, has been curious about donuts here in the United States, and he discovered that they actually came to the United States by way of New York, back when it was called New Amsterdam. The Dutch had gathered the tradition of oliebollen. At that time, it was called olie cakes, actually, who had gotten it from the Sephardic Jews from Spain, who had escaped from their persecution from there into the Netherlands, and they brought with them a tradition with Hanukkah, with these kinds of oliebollen, and the Dutch brought it to New York, and here they are, have morphed into the donuts that we so often enjoy. Maybe I actually haven't enjoyed them in recent years, but maybe again sometime. And but during the solstice, they were particularly traditionally served as a hearty and welcoming sustenance to welcome the coming light during those dark days. And then it's interesting to recall the ancient history of horses. The next slide there, Mary Beth, that has enriched our lives today. But these two in particular, the Welsh Rhiannon, in the traditions of Wales, she was a ancient predecessor of Epona there on the right, but she rode. The tradition at the solstice was that night of the solstice, that she rode a white horse through the dreams of her people. And her purpose was to transport them to a place between the worlds where they could create their own visions, and giving them a gift of what they needed most to help them make real their dreams. And but she's closely associated with Epona in the Celtic and Gallic world, and who is both a mother figure and as you see there, a figure of plenitude. And she's the only Celtic goddess that has been granted a feast day, which just happens to be in midwinter, December 18th, just a couple of days ago. So this horse-human relationship, particularly the feminine one, has been a part of our ancient history. So finally, though, as many of us may have experienced, we have the bonfires and lighting of candles in the next slide. And this has been a very prevalent across many cultures to empower night visions and to call back the night, the light. So it has to do with understanding these days as holy days. And by lighting the bonfire, we're bringing back the light from a sense of an eternal darkness. So I know here, this will be the first year in some 20 years that we've not been able to gather in a bonfire with neighbors and friends here, where we would bring papers that represented things we wanted to leave behind for this year and open and transmute the energy of those things to something else. And we would toss them into the bonfire and pass around a flask of bourbon sometimes. And so, but it's, you know, we can remember that in the lighting of candles and remembering that the sun is our source of warmth and care. That's an instinct of warmth and care rises naturally. We can offer that compassion and love and generosity for others in the spirit of that sun that we're calling back. So we may not be able to gather physically, but we can gather as we are this evening in the spirit and face the darkness together. Frail as we may feel and sorrowful as we may be, we can still light candles and honor all those who have died in the course of this difficult year. We can find ways to pray for the earth. We can call upon the spirit of life, and we can help each other bring the light back from the darkness again. And as we go into the rest of this evening, we'll be actually engaging you in a ritual that's intended for that purpose as well. So what we're going to do next is, if you could close that there. Thank you, Mary Beth. We're going to welcome back the light by charging what you've brought to toast one another with. I actually discovered I had some eggnog that I haven't really done much with, so I'm going to be toasting with eggnog. And so in a moment, we're going to be charging our beverages with the qualities or whatever it is that we're harvesting. What are the gifts that we want to claim from 2020 and take those gifts into the future? And we're going to start that, however, by gathering in a moment, not yet, but in just a few moments, we're going to gather in breakout rooms of 3 per breakout room, 3 people together, and share with one another the gifts that we want to bring back. But before we do that, Jen has done another recording about her experience of the gifts of solstice in the far north outback of Alaska. And so let's hear that, the gifts that Jan gleaned from a really intense experience of the winter solstice. All right.
Boogie is just waking up from a nap. Yeah. Hi, Boogie. Kind of itchy. I was going to try to tell a story of some time I've had in Alaska. Because as you don't know, I lived in the interior of Alaska for 16 years. And I've been thinking about my time there in the winters and one thing about Alaska is when you were there in the summer, it was 24 hours of daylight, and it felt really, really natural to, gather and work toward getting prepared for winter. And the good news about that was that everybody was doing it, so it felt really natural. And then when winter time would come, the most natural thing was when the environment would completely limit us and shut us down. The most alive and natural thing that we could do was actually to rest. And when I was thinking about that in terms of kind of how I felt about COVID and how limiting that was, I kind of started to feel restless and, like the uncertainty was making it really hard for me to feel alive. And so I've reached back into my memory of the things that I've done in Alaska and how even when the winter at 50 below would shut everything down around us and the deep, still quietest time would come upon us, it would always be something that I could find that was enlivening. Of course, the auroras, and of course there was chopping wood. Unbelievable how wood would bust when you were to chop it at 20 or 30 below. The water inside the wood is frozen. It just pops open the wood. Very exciting. The other thing would be the blue of the sky, or the chickadee at the bird feeder at 20 below. So I guess I was just going to pass on a little bit of my memory of the time that I lived there and the environment as a way of recognizing that my aliveness isn't limited by uncertainty. It's not limited by harsh environment. It's only limited by my ability to dig deep and find something that's alive. And even in the most coldest, extreme kind of places, the aliveness is really there. So now that I'm thinking about my time in COVID, I'm recognizing how much aliveness that these horses give me and how much there is to gain by enjoying their presence and being in this moment where everything is alive. As long as I look for it, I'll find it.
Thank you, Jen. So now we're going to give each of us an opportunity to share. For 6 minutes, we'll be in a breakout room, and for you to just share with one another some of the gifts from this year that you want to take forward. Like Jen's, that aliveness is not limited by uncertainty, and make a few notes about what you are carrying forward. And then we'll gather back for the next part of our activity together. We're going to be becoming creative, and we're going to have the opportunity to share with one another some of the gifts you want to, if you so wish, to carry forward. And we're going to use those gifts to charge our beverages and toast one another. Okay, if you'll show the next slide there. Okay, so again, we're going to be in breakout in groups of 3. You'll have 6 minutes, and you'll each share what gifts you are harvesting from the past year that you want to take into the coming year, and make brief notes about what you are harvesting. So Mary Beth is going to break us into groups of 3 at random, and then we'll see who we end up with. Gift that you're going to carry forward, and we're going to charge our beverages with that. We'll do everybody at once, and then we'll toast everyone at once, okay? Okay. So who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go first. I'm charging mine with aliveness.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I'm charging mine with choice, that I've found that I have a fresh perspective on choice. Somebody else?
I'm going to charge mine with adaptability.
Adaptability, awesome.
I'm going to charge.
Be sure and unmute yourself.
I'm
Who
going
was
to charge.
next?
Oh. I'm going to toast to the importance of being one with nature and the wonderful intuitiveness of our horses.
Okay, nature. Okay, somebody else?
Consciousness.
I would like to toast mine with the community of our world family as we aren't traveling, but we're still with the world family.
All right, the community of the world family, and Cynthia said consciousness. All right, somebody else.
A new
I'm gonna go with
appreciation,
Shirley. Yeah.
an appreciation for the newfound joys in solitude and taking
Appreciation for solitude. Yes. All right. Was it you, Carolyn? Did you have your?
I was just going to
What?
say, well, I was saying hi to Shirley, but hi.
slowly.
Connections.
Connections. All right.
Being connected. Yeah.
Sonia?
I'm charging mine with a deeper spiritual connection with the horses.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one. Who else? Yes, Colleen.
Steadiness in finding clarity amidst uncertainty. That's
Clarity.
Steadiness and clarity in the face of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Thank
can
you.
go next. Yes, what I'm bringing forward is clarity and the capacity to release. Yeah.
Clarity and
It-
releasing. Anybody else? Let's see.
I'm
Peggy,
gonna
did you-
get
And then enlivening health routine.
Okay, enlivening health. Ariella.
An appreciation for routine and financial income from my goats.
Appreciation for routine and yes,
Routine and
your,
goats.
your goats. Yes, Mary Beth.
Yes, joyful and positive creativity.
Yes, good. Right there. Andrea, how about you?
Presence.
Oh,
Presence.
Okay, present.
Even though we can't see you, presence is a good one.
Voice is present.
How about you, Denise? Welcome to us. Oh, you're muted.
I'm going to say going deeper.
Going deeper. That's a gift.
Mhm.
All right. How about you, Nina? Did you want to share something?
Yet all of this time living a very reclusive existence in a way is so good for all of us to go deeper, become more spiritual and much more clear in what we hear and see and communicate.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here.
no.
Being here together and the spiritual connections. All right. All right, let's take it.
Yeah, wait,
Oh,
I
yes.
wanted to add one thing, Trish, that you mentioned that I think is important, or a word to carry forward is trust.
Yes.
Trusting that things will work out the way they're going to work out. There it's going to be okay.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's another one I'm taking
Good one.
forward. Yes. All right. Those are important. Okay, so this is a really potent brew that we've got here. Let's all toast one another.
Cranberry juice, cranberry juice.
Toast one another here. Mm.
Salud.
Cheers. Clink.
Cheers. Yeah, clink. Ta-da.
Cheers.
Mhm. We can carry that on through the evening.
Voto Sante.
Okay. So now we're going to turn to something really fun. Jen is going to lead us in a really creative process that will bring us together even more. So I'm going to turn this over to Jen. It looks like your connection is good. So, but if sometimes, she lives up on the mountain out in the countryside, and sometimes we lose her. So I'm prepared to step in if I have to. Okay,
Thank you.
There you go, Jen.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here to share a creative moment with me. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
Again.
God, that's such a blessing. Anyway, it always enlivens me. I do know that this is my enlivenment when I can share a creative process with folks that helps them discover something they might not know is there, or find a wider perspective, or be touched in the heart, or whatever it might be. I work with children a lot, so my enthusiasm and glee is endless. This is a thing that we used to do up in Alaska with the kids. And it was a way of welcoming back the light. We've talked a lot about the solstice already. So basically, we're going to take our paper and we're going to make a child, something that you might have done in childhood, but we're going to do it now with some more intentions. And in Alaska, the kids know that the light is coming back. And even though, don't get me wrong, they still love Christmas, right? The light coming back was also very important to them, even at a young age. And we would take time to understand what they were looking forward to when the light would return. So we're going to kind of keep that in mind as we do this creative process. So I'm hoping everybody brought a piece of paper. You guys got your paper? So because we didn't ask for you to bring a square piece of paper, I'm going to show you the first step in cutting your paper. It's probably a rectangle, cutting it into square. And basically to do that, all you have to do is take one corner and fold it so you make a point at one end and you meet the other end with the other paper and you'll have a little rectangular piece. Hang on, I got to put it down, get it started. And you just want your point to be at one end. Make sure you get it. And the better you do your folding, the more precise your, we're going to make snowflakes. I probably neglected to mention that. Something that we see in Alaska. Go ahead and give it a crease. I have to lay mine down to crease it, but if you can do it upright, that's okay too. And you'll see that there's a little tab here that you're going to need to take your scissors. I hope everybody got their scissors. Got your scissors? And you're going to, oh, Trisha's already got hers folded. You're going to cut that little tab off. All right. I hope everybody's with me. Okay, so now everybody's got a triangle. It's got really one long end at the bottom, and this is your crease end. That's where it's folded over. I don't want to go too fast, but I can't see all of you, so I don't know for sure if I'm going too fast or not. The next fold is going to be folding the tip from one end, take the crease end, the long side, and kind of put your finger in the middle and then fold it tip to tip. So now you folded the long crease end into another triangle. And this one's easier to fold without laying down. Okay, so now you've got another triangle. Am I going too fast? Here, I'm gonna scroll through and see if everybody's with me. You guys can hold
that part.
Oh, Peggy's good. Oh, you guys are good. Everybody's doing good over here. Oh, there's a lot of people to help here. I see some good looking triangles out there, people. Anne-Marie, where's your triangle, honey? Let me see it. Oh, Anne-Marie, you're doing good. Love it. Okay.
How about you, Diane?
Okay. So
Diane's muted.
Yeah. Stay muted. We're all going to take a deep breath because the next part is actually the harder part. All right. So there's the folded side and then there's the tip that's on the end of the folded side. You want to come up to that tip. You kind of want to make that the important, let's see how do I do it. Make that the important tip that you hold on to. That's the place that you're going to fold over. And we're going to fold this triangle into thirds. So not straight across, but in thirds. So we're going to fold the tip and don't just curve it because you're not really sure where thirds is. And it's kind of like it's going to hug itself. Do you see it hugging itself? And you'll create two little points at the bottom. I drew one up that shows you guys. You got the tip at the top, and then you're going to fold over into thirds. This one's got a little, and you just roll it until you think you've got it. Look on both sides until you think you've got it kind of, so it's a little bit even. And then you can go ahead, once you get it to this point, you can crease it. Go ahead and make a crease. Kind of try to be really mindful of your point. You want your point to stay sharp at the top. So if you crease it and your point's not sharp, go back and just kind of mush it around until you get it over there. I'm gonna put mine down. It's easier when you have it on a flat surface. I want it to work. Okay, is anybody not clear? We got what looks like a little conal Christmas tree with legs, little rocket ship.
Mine doesn't look right.
Oh no, Trish. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, Trish. Okay, we'll walk it through with Trish. Trish, let's see you. Okay, I gotta find you. Hold on. Where are you? Okay, you should be coming up here on my screen in just a second. Okay, so you have the one triangle that has been folded into a triangle twice. It's just a regular triangle. You want to hold on to your tip, which is the one that's like, it's on the crease side, the tip of the crease. Okay, and then you're gonna fold that over, but you're gonna like hug it. You're not gonna fold it, and then it's gonna hug here, and you're gonna do like in thirds so that it looks like makes a little like, oh, where now I can't see me. Hold on. Okay, that's me. And Mary Beth has a possibility for showing a slide if we're all having troubles.
Yeah. I will get that for you.
Yeah, that might be helpful. Does anybody else need help? Trish, did you get it?
Nope.
Huh? Did you get it? Where are you? Okay.
Wow.
I know. You guys can do this. It's not hard. It's not that hard. Who else is having trouble? Okay, Trish. Where are you? I can't make you big.
Do they
Okay,
both
so now-
fold in the same direction, or do they fold opposite directions?
Opposite. It's like a hug. Here, I got to go back to me so I can see me. Okay, so you have your triangle and you have your little tip. We protected the tip, and this one hugs over to not quite the middle. It's going to be a third, and then this one hugs over that one. And you just want to keep your tip pointy, and it'll be like a hug. Just roll them toward each other, a right and a left cross. And then you kind of look at, see on the back side, mine's a little bit off, so I'm just going to push it a little bit and try to make it as even thirds as possible.
Now I got it.
All right. Oh, Trish, hallelujah. Yeehaw. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, yours is going to be fine. Pretty close. They're not supposed to be perfect. Here's the good news, everyone. Snowflakes are individual as we are, so something unique is going to happen.
We're all snowflakey. We're not flaky. We're not flaky. We're snowflakey. That's what
okay,
you
can you guys, do you see? I made another prop. Here's my pink line right here at the bottom of where your two little Christmas tree feet are. I need you to cut those feet off. I know it's going to feel kind of tentative. This will be our first cut, but go ahead and I'm going to do it first so y'all feel brave. There you go. I cut off my feet. So now I should have my perfect little cone. Everybody. Yep. Trish, you look good. Good, good, good. Okay. Anybody else need help, or I'm going to move on? Okay.
No.
Moving on.
Nina's got, you guys need to unmute so we can hear you. Nina, you got to cut off those feet.
Did you cut off a piece? What you cut off to make the square?
Yeah, cut off those feet.
Cut off the piece to make it square, but then you got to cut off the feet. Oh, okay. I can't see. This is harder than you think with the iPad. So, Nina, you got little feet. Yes, Nina. Yes, you got it. All right. So I want you guys to, this is a kind of important part. I want you to make sure that you're holding on to the very tippy top. That's your tip. That's kind of the thing that you're going to protect. You don't really want to cut the tip off. But what you're going to do next is, as individual as all of us are, we're going to make our own shapes and pattern and cut out inside of the triangle. But we won't cut off this very top tip. Let's leave that whole. I'm going to show you a couple pieces of ones that I did. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I'm cutting off the things that I have had to cut out of my life during COVID, during this time of uncertainty. And I just started cutting it away. What I want to show you is that here's my tip, and my tip is really protected. If you cut a little scallop on the bottom, you can cut things that are like circular on the inside and on the outside. So leave your tip, but scallop any sort of thing here and cut some pieces, a couple little pieces out of each side, and just go with your impulse. You can do, it's easiest to cut things that are angular because that's easier for your users, but try a little scallop somewhere. Go a little wild. Take yourself out of your comfort zone like we've been for so long and see what impulse you can follow that will create something new into the new year. All right, I'm gonna cut mine. You guys ready? Everybody ready? Is anybody not brave enough to cut? I'll walk you through it. Oh man, I got a very brave herd. Bless your hearts. Here we go. Here, I want to show you another one. if you want to look. This is another one that I already cut out. So it shows that there's all sorts of ways to cut it. Just leave your tip and cut all your edges. Okay, I can't wait. I'm getting very excited. I have to cut mine. Take a deep breath.
You're freezing every so often, Jen.
Oh boy, but that makes it sound really good.
Well, your
Okay.
voice keeps coming through.
Oh boy. Now do this. Do a little horse breath. Let's see some sexy shapes, ladies. Did you hear that? I want some sexy shapes for my snowflake.
You lost me at the hugging.
Oh no,
Oh,
Shirley.
Shirley.
I'm gonna back up with you, Shirley. Did you see the thing that Mary Beth put on the screen that showed the
I'll put it
okay,
back.
here's my shape. That's my little shape. Ooh. And we can see, I'm gonna see anybody, nobody's showing me a shape yet. Anybody got a shape? And
Coming up, coming up.
I
okay.
think I missed a fold someplace.
All right, Shirley, I'm coming to you. Where are you? Let me find you. Okay, I see you. Okay, good. All right. So, oh, you're already cutting. There may be no going back, Shirley. Bless your heart. You may
It'll
just
be
have to.
wonderful, and I will love it more than words can say.
Well, let me see. Show me again. I don't know what you got going on there. It's big. Oh, up a little higher. I can't see it. I know we. Oh, now down. Just cut away. Just cut something, and then when you unfold it, yours will be more unique than any of ours, and it'll be dear to my heart. Just don't cut your tip off, otherwise it might fall apart in the middle.
I'm holding the tip. I'm holding the tip.
Bless your heart. You got this. The only thing about, sometimes these snowflakes, they hit the ground and they're gone right away. Or if you caught one on your tongue, it's immediately dissolved. So they're not really meant forever, but it would be fun. Okay. Everybody got a shape? Let me see if I see me so I can see. Okay, I'm in. There we go. Here's my shape. Mary Beth's got a shape. Cynthia's got her kitty helping her. Rosalie's still madly cutting away.
So I wanted to tell you that I saw a video of a cow catching snowflakes on its tongue, very intentionally.
Oh, bless his heart. Meow. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, Trish, how much time we have. Oh, let me see your shape, Anne-Marie. Oh, Anne-Marie, that is sexy, girl. That is going to be a good one. I can't wait. All right. I'm going to go back so I can see. We're doing okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it'd be fun. It'd be fun if we, you guys might not know this about me and some of you do, but I teach camp, and what happens every summer is we tie-dye t-shirts. And the favorite moments of camp for me is when the kids undo their tie-dye t-shirts and you tell them, don't hold them up against you because they're wet and they're full of dye, and they'll take your unicorn shirt and they'll make it different colors. And invariably every child opens up their stuff, yells, look at mine, and holds it up against their other shirt. It's so much fun. It's my favorite time. So when we open these all together, it's going to be kind of like that for me, although I'm not going to see all of them. And you can all yell, look at mine if you want. Okay, I hope you're thinking about what you're charging your snowflake with. Okay, we ready?
Nina's is cool.
Can we open? Oh, okay, I'm going to open. Everybody go. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, Mary Beth, yours is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Oh, look at Colleen's. Wow.
Nice.
Colleen's, I want to see.
Wow.
I can't see
Where's
everybody.
Colleen?
That's cool.
Wow.
Oh, Peggy, you got a lot of edges on yours. Oh, look at this one. Rosalie, well done.
Ah.
You could teach snowflakes. Oh, Mary Beth.
Look at mine. Mine's.
Oh, here's Kelly.
Oh, Shirley, yeah,
Shirley.
yours is great. Oh,
Shirley.
Wow,
Oh,
it's like
Shirley.
dancing, really. It's like a
Yeah,
dancer.
Shirley.
Oh my
I get it.
gosh.
I
Wow.
love it. Wait,
But where's Cynthia?
Ellen's is really unique. Ellen's is cool too. Let me see Colleen's. I haven't seen Colleen's yet. Colleen.
And Denise's. Look at Denise.
Oh, look
Wow.
at that. That's
That's really
oh,
cool.
look at this.
Oh,
Nina.
that's really
Nina, yours
detailed.
looks like a starfish.
Amazing.
Yours is sounds like an underwater sea creature. That is so cool. So here's, I love this. I absolutely love, you can get, what did we have? We had papers and scissors, every one of them, and some really flim flam instructions. I know. And then look what happened.
Yeah.
Well done, Herd. Well done.
Oh, wow. Look at Sonia.
So-
Sonia's is blue.
Okay,
That's
wait, I didn't see
special.
that. I gotta
Oh
see
yeah,
them all.
I like the blue. That's cool.
Ooh, that is, yeah, way to
Oh,
your heart.
wow.
All
All right,
right.
so
This is like being in
um,
kindergarten again.
I know, my favorite. I never progressed. I stayed.
So,
Basically, what's
Cynthia,
gonna happen is
where's
Trish.
Cynthia?
Right here.
Oh, you're over there? Okay, I see this other one that says your iPhone. I see, that's supposed to be turned off. Never mind.
Oh, so
It's
I just
okay.
want to take a moment to appreciate all your guys' willingness to do something out of the ordinary, to create something unique, and your ability to take something forward into our world. So Trish is going to tell you what she wants us to do with these next.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
we're
she
gonna do
can create
more.
something.
Okay. So, you see behind Jen there. Jen, can you bring your screen up a little bit so we can see the Windhorse flag? There we go. Those are Windhorse flags from the world of Nepal and Tibet.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth, can you show the slide of that shows the Windhorse flags?
I can.
And I don't know if you all are familiar with them, but it's a tradition there in that part of the world to every now and then to take the little cloth Windhorse flags. They're small, they're large. They have a horse there in the middle with a beautiful lighted candle on their back. And so the idea is to imbue them with intention and prayers, and then they hang them up outside so that the wind blows through them and carries those intentions and prayers out into the world. And as over the coming months or even years, they eventually come to tatters, and then they gather them up in the final gesture for empowering those intentions and prayers is to burn them. So what we are going to do is to create a snowflake prayer flags. Okay. So what I'm asking you to do is, after our gathering this evening, is for you to write on your snowflake the intentions, the gifts that you want to carry into the coming year. And then if you'll put it up on a window with the sun shining, or at least the light shining through it, and take a picture of it, okay? And send it to me, and I'm going to make a snowflake prayer flag visually, and I'm going to send it back to you for you to have, okay? And it's with those, with our snowflake prayer flag, our intentions will be empowered to go into 2021. Okay, are y'all game?
Yeah.
Game on.
Great idea.
So I look forward to receiving those from you, and I'll send it back within the next few days as soon as I get everything. And there will also be a recording of our gathering with that. And I'm also sending a special video that I saw today, an interview of Lawrence Hillman, who's a brilliant astrologer, about the significance of this time in history from a broad archetypal and historical perspective. Okay, so it's our custom here as we come to a close. But first, I realized that earlier on, I forgot to call on Carolyn Jost, our board president, to give a word of greeting. In this case, you can do a word of closing.
Yeah.
Okay, Carolyn, would you give us a few words from our board to our friends here?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I just wanted to share my main takeaway from this year with Writing Beyond. And we all kind of shared these same sentiments earlier, but I think we have all learned to appreciate anew the human connection and the human-horse connection. And I've been amazed at how people have created new ways to connect and forged new connections and strengthened those connections. And I think that because of that, actually Writing Beyond has been strengthened over this year. In spite of the hardships and the limitations that have been imposed upon us time and time again. So I think that we will carry that forward into the light of 2021, and I look forward to it. And thank you all so much for your support over this year. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, we have felt truly blessed at the outpouring of support from our community for Writing Beyond. When all this first came down, we just thought, wow, we're done. We can't do this.
Yeah.
But we have done it. And so we really appreciate that. And thank you, Carolyn. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take just a few moments here for you to, it's part of our custom with these sessions as well, for you to, during this next few seconds of silence, to go to the chat function and to record there a few words or a phrase that captures for you what you're going to be taking away from our gathering today, this evening. Let's just take a few seconds to do that. And then Mary Beth will be sharing a poem that she wrote about the solstice. Thank you, everyone. As you may think of other words, you can continue adding things in. And Mary Beth, if you can put up the slide of your poem and share it with us, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Trish, for, as always. These are always wonderful gatherings, and I very much appreciate them. Solstice hope. Darkness gives way to misty gray on a day not willing to open its eyes. What would it see? A tangle of threads leading back to somewhere too distant to trace, each holding space, tugging, pulling toward an unknown end. It is easy to ball the threads in impatient hands, call them a thing, and declare it good or bad. Excise an unwanted section, though the excision is never complete, and think the threads are broken. But another unruly child is lost, and another war breaks out, and suicides mount in the confusion. What have we done? Better to choose the threads that lead away, to grasp them as lifelines and follow where they take us. There is solstice in that choice, a lifting of the misty gray. And this day opens its eyes, though knowing much pain lies ahead, willing to build a thing that has never been, but always waits in hope.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. And I want to thank as we, what are you doing there, Jim? Oh, heart, a heart. I want to thank all of the helpers who've made this gathering possible today, Mary Beth and Jen and Peggy and Carolyn, and really so much contributed by others. And if you could go to the last slide there, Mary Beth.
My favorite.
There we go. We can see that joyful being there. So may you gather virtually with others and find ways to warm the cold days and nights with your warmth and generosity, making way for and welcoming back the light that leads us into the future. May you all know the blessings of the solstice coming your way. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
It's great
Thank
fun
you,
to be
everybody.
here. Appreciate it.
Solstice.
Thank you so much, Trish and everyone.
Thank
Happy
you.
solstice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy solstice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Okay, friends.
We
Bye.
can blow our candles out too.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Their
Make a wish.
their intentions, yes. The intentions of this gathering. I'll be burning this every day for a while, this candle in the evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, see you next time.
Take care. Stay safe.
To all horse lovers, to all horse lovers.
Sonia, I didn't, yes, Sonia, I didn't get to tell you how delighted I am to see you there.
Oh, so good. I have lots to tell you, but I'm getting to my son's party right now, my grandson's party. I need to go.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, let's talk sometime. Okay.
Okay, blessings. Thank you. This is
All
wonderful.
right. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Sonia lives up in, Sonia has a therapeutic writing program up in Washington, near Seattle. Does amazing work up there. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So Cynthia, it's so good to see you, and Nina, you finally made it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been able to be involved.
I know you said you were going to come, and then you never could quite make it, and so here you are. And
dealing with health and family things. My granddaughter's done a beautiful job of rehabilitating my daughter's neglected racehorse. They each have horses, and they're doing really well. Really
great.
well.
And Cynthia, it's so good to see you too. You know, you're muted. There you go. Still can't hear you. I think you're
better. There we go.
Mute one. There you go.
Okay, I guess I'm okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Why don't you hang up your phone? Just hang up your phone. There you go. Now we can hear you on your iPad.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, no, you're still muted on your iPad. Maybe you don't know how to unmute it.
I'm trying to, but it's not responding.
Yeah. Your cat's trying to help you.
She's always such a help.
Well, anyway, I can hear you. I guess it's on your phone, so that's fine. Anyway, yeah, you cut your hair.
I did, and I let it go silver. I love it.
Yeah, no, you look great. You know,
Thank you.
I'm not sure I would have recognized you, but I just bumped into you. I'm so used to your hair being longer.
I know. It's so different, but it's liberating.
Yeah, there you go.
Isn't it?
Because you just did that recently, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. but I just decided with COVID, it was time.
There you go. So
And then I got a
liberation,
really good cut.
take liberation into 2021.
Yes, good
Put that on
idea.
your snowflake. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's good to see everyone.
Yeah, good to see you
Take
too.
care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.